ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
When we played last, you very nearly escaped. You crossed through a stretch of ashen forest that lay crumbling in the heat of the furnace beyond. You avoided the creatures that lay there in wait and successfully entered the magma chambers deep beneath the mountains. In this landscape of sweltering heat and melting walls, you discovered a structure unearthed by the flowing rock. A structure that seemed to call for one of you, Red. The doors of this structure swung open at your arrival, as if expecting you, welcoming your presence. But as you descended, you learned that this was a trap. The guardian inside seemed to know who you were, more so maybe than even yourself. The fight that ensued was brutal and close. In desperation, Red pulled the decaying silver flask from his bag of holding, shattering it against the creature. What followed this was a close struggle with death on all sides until, in the end, the creature was felled and you and your friends managed to crawl clear of the still present radiating decay. As you sit and lay on the floor of warm obsidian stone, the exhaustion takes its toll. Your breathing is heavy and low. The hot air makes you feel like you are in a sauna, drawing pearls of sweat from your skin. The body of the creature still lies motionless at the center of the room, a small mountain of embers and brimstone. Occasionally you hear the slight rumble of the creature's decay as stone crumbles further into dust and pebbles.
I'm just lying next to Red.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just laying there.
I had no idea your family was so hot-blooded.
The next time I feel good about a place, just
Oh.
don't.
Keep this in mind. If I look with detect magic, is that radiated wave still up, or has that dissipated?
Some of it still remains. You can tell that its radius is slowly declining, but it is, at the moment, still there.
Stay away from whatever that thing was that caused an explosion of sorts. It's messy still, and still in the air. So, glancing at Red, while it doesn't look like you're moving anywhere soon, maybe everyone stay put for a little bit longer.
Yep. That worked about as well as I expected it.
Can everyone there please roll me a perception roll?
Yeah, 2.
Does anyone beat an 18?
I have a 24.
Oh.
And
You see among the rubble of what used to be the body of that creature, the silver still shimmers at the edges of that rubble, a swirling mix of metallic silver and black. But there are other parts to the body that remain solid, even as the silver seems to devour the rest of the stone. These parts remain untouched.
Hey, Blaine, could you please check that creature over there? I please just make sure it doesn't start moving again.
is it still within the circle?
It is still within the circle.
Right. Vintgo drag the remains off to the side this way. And I'll tell Vint to go try and drag whatever remains he can off outside of the circle.
Sort of crouch down and put his hands flat against the ground, almost like a snowplow would, and just shove the entire this crumbling rubble essentially to the side of the room.
Then making a wide berth of the area, I will make my way over. Oh, or no, he's the source, isn't he?
Yes.
Never mind. I haven't realized that, but
there's
right.
This trail of this green paper that goes.
I can't really get
slowly disappears.
close to him right now. There's some strange effect centered on him. It seems to be removing with the remains.
After he got moved, is there like way lay before some of the liquid on the ground there? From where wind took him away?
None of the silver remains on the ground.
Okay, okay.
As he pushes it away, you can sort of see that most of the silver isn't really that liquid anymore. It's more a stain on the rubble itself.
Yeah, it's decayed into lead from uranium. Come on.
Do you know what happened up there?
Are you just saying this to us?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Y'all kind of disappeared for a short bit, went up there, and then things got messy.
I teleported us to heal because I wasn't feeling good, so they looked bad. And then it like teleported after us and was like, I'm gonna kill your friends and make you watch.
Lovely.
And then it killed Soleil. I mean, well, he was out, and then I healed him a little bit, but then I was pretty sure it was gonna kill my friends and make us watch. So, I threw the silver stuff at it, the like deathly silver stuff.
The silver blood.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it did that.
Speaking of not feeling
Yeah.
good, I'm going to lie down.
Is Hux laying down in the cloud?
Just outside of it.
Hey, don't get any closer.
But
Just
strangely, you notice that Huxley, even though you see the form of Huxley sort of slowly warping, doesn't seem to manage to keep their form and return slowly to the black figure that you'd seen, I think, only once before.
or whenever Hux gets in within 15 feet of me currently with my true sight. And then I avoid looking at Hux as much as possible. Right, maybe go lie off to the side, not in the center of the room. Are you able to manage that? If not, I can get Vint to carry you.
Red. Never,
You see Huxley
never introduce
very
me as your
slowly
friend again.
limp towards the side.
Uh-huh.
Something is off about Hux.
I'm keeping a close eye on Hux.
I'm not.
Yeah, Soleil's just staring at the ceiling because he's lying flat on the ground. He doesn't doesn't really notice what's going on with Hux.
If Hux moves and is within 30 feet, does anything pop up with detect magic?
I feel like Huxley in general
Right.
gives off this faint aura of magic all the time. There's nothing specifically different around this time. But you can see Huxley sort of looking as if the heat is just really dragging him down. For the record, if you do take control of Huxley at some point, at the moment, because of the heat, Huxley is at 2 permanent levels of exhaustion.
Oh. But it's cooler in here than it is out there.
Not particularly.
Not anymore? I thought it was
Yeah.
cooler when we initially walked in.
It felt a little bit
It
cooler.
was slightly in the first level.
Mm.
1 level above.
Okay. Right, so y'all look like you are having a rough time here.
You don't say.
Alright. I didn't watch my friends die, so it's all good.
Yet.
Conversation for later.
Yeah, could we just, like, set up camp or something? I don't know.
Let me look around, I guess, see if I can't find a place. I'm going to at least go back upstairs and see, does it still feel cooler upstairs?
As you head up the stairs,
Trying to keep detect magic up to make sure I don't walk into a wall of death.
yeah, it feels just the slightest bit cooler up here.
And going back downstairs, I will try and convince everyone to move upstairs. It's a smidge cooler upstairs if we're gonna try and set up camp, and she'll like start looking around through at things to get the broom for him out to try and get him onto the broom.
Uh-huh.
It's, up there probably a bit safer. Don't get near the center. Just stay close to the wall.
Yeah.
Everyone will try and corral everybody upstairs. If they're willing.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make sure I'm just keeping everyone tabs on where the death bubble might be. And
Yeah.
I think it might have shifted slightly, but
You keep a close eye on the auras of magic that are around you. There's still this slight haze in the air where everything happened. Almost residual, but not strong enough to take any real effect.
okay. If you want, you can get some rest. I'll keep an eye on things initially. And then once I make sure that whatever that effect is around the creature downstairs, I'll have Vint take over watch.
Yeah. It's just whatever the silver stuff did to us last time or something. I think it's the same thing.
It didn't cause quite this effect last time. I mean, it was similar for sure, probably. But whatever you did, and let's not do that again. But whatever you did had a much stronger amplified effect.
I don't have any more, so don't.
Perfect.
Well,
Ellen will move to try and like pull out at least like their sleeping mats and stuff like that
mhm.
to try and set up places for people to lay down.
Mm-hmm. Food, water.
Yeah.
Ye-
I'm fine with Hux's water, if it's still there.
Let's take it easy tonight. We'll sort out water later. Just use our rations for now.
Alright.
As you mentioned, Hux, you hear the distinct snoring from just the middle of the room, where Hux just kind of lies flat on the ground, already asleep.
Once Evelyn gets the sleeping mats and stuff, everything out for Soleil and Rhett, she'll keep an eye on the fading effect of the silver blood death, and keep an eye on the radiation bubble to make sure it disappears. But if
How
at any point
long
in
would you be
time-
waiting?
I mean, she's at least taking first watch.
Okay. Is anyone else taking any watches?
No.
I don't think Soleil could. In his condition
Okay.
right now.
I mean, Vent can. I mean, it's
Right. I'm planning on after first watch going and seeing if the bubble of radiation has left. I'm going to go check on the creature thing. And then I'll be having Vent take over and watch. But
As your watch progresses, Evelyn, slowly this vapor, almost this cloud, this aura begins to diminish. After the first 2 hours, anything up here has dissipated. If you were to go downstairs, you'd see that there is still this slight radius of aura around the rubble. The rubble is much, much more decayed. At this point, it's more akin to a pile of sand. And amidst the sand, you see a couple of things. The things that Soleil may have noticed earlier that did not decay.
I'll try and tell Vint to pull those things away from the bubble effect and see if they also continue to have their own bubble effect of death.
You see Vint pick out 3 objects, pulling them away from this mountain of sand. And as he pulls them further away, they carry none of the green aura with them. Instead, it all remains on the pile of sand. And he lays these 3 items on the ground.
Evelyn would quickly identify each of them, cast identify on each of them. Very much fun. She will gather those objects and bring them upstairs to set on the floor for people to look at once they wake up, and then she'll have Vint come. The stairwell has fixed itself, right?
It has.
will try and she doesn't want to wake people up by having Vince break his way back upstairs. So Evelyn is going to do her best to keep watch for the next 2 watches.
You're trying to stay up
Yes.
through the night?
Yep.
Okay, then give me a constitution check first.
Mhm. 16.
Okay. You manage to stay awake around the next 4 hours. Even as the warmth almost swaddles you into this coma, you manage to keep your eyes open occasionally. You just sort of refocus, make sure that you are still fully awake. And then please roll me a constitution save.
It's a nat 1.
Can you roll me a 1d4?
Yep. 3.
You receive 2 levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
Oof.
We're equal. We're gonna be exhaustion buddies when we wake up.
The rest of you get your long rest. And as you wake up fully healed. And with 1 level of exhaustion less.
Well, morning. How are we feeling?
A little less dead.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I guess.
Would I have been able to get a short rest in, Vicar?
Just 5 more minutes.
That's
I
fine.
would say you can take a short rest, yes.
Okay. These were the things, by the way, that were down by the creature, and I'll explain what each of these items is to everyone. And
Those are some interesting things. I don't suppose you had a chance to look at like anything else down there.
No, I didn't really do that. And last I checked, there was still sort of a bubble of death around the pile of sand. That was the creature.
I still feel terrible. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going to die, but
Which is great.
I'm exhausted.
Obviously. The temperament is at least a smidge better in here than out there, so maybe it's not a horrible idea to take a few days to rest up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glancing.
Did Evelyn explain anything about the items?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah, yeah. I would have
Okay.
told you which each of those items were.
Because when you explain, at least the chain, Soleil looks a little bit less exhausted and kind of interested. Like as an additional thing he would find very cool to use probably.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, god damn it!
Yeah,
like
she would've,
switching the whip in his hand with a fucking burning chain sounds cool as fuck.
It would have been like this very dry textbook sort of tone of like, here's what each of these items do.
Not even listening when she talks about the shield. What does the pitchfork do? Let me read it.
It's a trident.
Yeah,
You
the
can kind of
trident.
summon it back to you, it looks like. With a bonus action. I'm going to
Okay.
double check
Yeah.
to see if that's bubble of death, we'll keep calling it, has disappeared or not.
Right.
She's gonna make her way back down to
I'm not
glance
interested
over.
in them, but I will put these things in the bag.
As you go downstairs, you would find that largely the radiating aura has dissipated. There's still a sort of faint glow on the sand itself. So if you were to grab it and, take it with you, there would definitely be some residual aura around it.
Go back up. Right, bubble of death gone. Just don't touch the sand itself, and you're probably fine.
Right. So it all happened really fast, but that guy was like said that I was part of some house called Beleth or something. Is that right?
Right. I believe it just something like this lies in perdition, the first portal in the infernal hairs, and the house of Beleth. Or no, that was written on the thing. Da, 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 da.
Evelyn, can you roll me a quick history check?
History. Disadvantage. That would be history. A 10. Brain is tired.
Okay.
So like this was definitely like a trap for me?
Or any one of your lineage, likely.
Right. So I mean, I'm not feeling particularly up for it, but shouldn't we like try to help the people that are in prison down there?
It depends.
Or check if they are worthy of help, or like I don't know, something?
I'm going to take a hefty bit of magic or strength, likely, to open up any of those caskets, which I am fresh out of still.
You stay up all night again?
I didn't think it would be best to call Vint up and smash apart the stairwell in the process and wake y'all up.
Yeah, I suppose. don't want to like take longer here than we need to, but
I don't think everyone really looks in the best condition to be running off either.
no. And there's another level down there, right?
There was a stairwell that headed further down.
Oh man. Like you said, not in the best condition, but if this has something to do with family or something, I really feel like we should check it out. It's not
Don't
like we're gonna
mind.
ever be back here again.
No, I don't mind looking for some answers. Maybe hold off on opening any of those specific casket looking things.
Yeah.
But
Well, is there? I mean, I realize you're tired and everything, but maybe if you get a little rest, is there a way to like identify them?
I can do that in my sleep. That doesn't take any real effort.
Maybe identify what's inside them? That might be harder.
And depends on what the material is made of. And it seems pretty
Right.
strong, so less likely. But I can try.
Well, maybe we give that a look and
Make her way downstairs.
yeah. And flip along at half speed.
Famous last words.
Yeah, very slowly. I will cast Identify on.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Look, I can identify things. I just can't think about it right now. That's a 11.
As you identify this sarcophagus, you almost have this overwhelming sense of magic on the side. An almost excessive amount of magic. You can tell that there is a powerful seal placed on the coffin itself that prevents it from opening except by extremely rare or powerful means. But even more so, as you take a little bit more time, you can tell that the seal isn't even necessarily placed around the inside of the coffin. There is something powerful, another spell, something vast almost, inside the coffin. If there is any living being inside, then it is probably far, far beyond your means to reach.
Like rubber temples. Ah, right. That's a lot to sort through. Probably best not to mess with it. Can we go with that? Do you need more explanation than that? Anything in there could probably decimate hundreds of individuals, probably on the level of whatever those dark death knights that we came across before.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, not friendly, not good.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good answer to my question. It means it's nothing like me, so close enough. I'm curious about downstairs, but man, I don't want to go down there right now.
We could take another day and go down tomorrow.
Yeah. if you wanted to get some rest, I mean, he'd have to claw his way through, but Ben could like just sit against the door, and I'm pretty sure nothing could get in.
Well, it's fine. I just didn't want to do that when everyone was sleeping.
Right.
Vince, bust your way back up here.
I can
Call
see.
them.
You feel the ground shake
Oh.
as with several heavy swings you see just rubble flying until Vince spawns out of the hole where the stack.
Soleil's just sitting there and drawing something, and as Red comes back, he waves him to him. Hey, one moment. And then he reveals like the sketches in his book, and there's like different sketches of demonic looking creatures, some of them more humanoid, some of them less so, and he's like, what is the closest to your mother? Like, are they more like this, or are they more like this, or like the guy we
Rude.
met?
Second of all, probably the human one right there.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
I mean,
okay.
more like toward human.
Cool. And he starts drawing like one of those a little more humanoid ones. You can give me some details if you want to, and I will try and get her right.
Uh-huh. You haven't met my mother, have you? Huh?
I don't think so, no. But with your description, and if you tell me like change this, change that, I might be able to get close still.
All right. Yeah, fine. Well, why the sudden curiosity in my mother, though?
Oh, you can also describe me your father. I'm just like, your family seems to be, family tree at least seems to be something interesting right now, for obvious reasons. So, just curious.
I don't particularly remember what my father. I mean, I have a decent description in that he looks generally like me. But he took off when I was pretty young, so I don't know. I
Oh.
don't personally know. According to my
Okay.
mother, he looks much like, or I look much like him, I guess. Be the right way.
Okay, so she just said like he left for no reason, just left, or did he like had to go to a war and fight there, or did he have a good reason to leave, or was he just, nah, I'm out of
I
here?
don't know, man. He didn't really seem the family type, apparently.
Okay.
Very charismatic fellow, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I see.
Red tries to do his best, very charismatic smile in his current state, and it's like, Apparently, I inherited that as well. I am, however, much more consistent in my commitment to my friends, apparently, or family. So I don't know.
I thought I told you not to call me that anymore. Not in a place like this.
Right. Or my...
Like, Soleil immediately looks around to see if any fucking stones
Yeah.
come to life, and it's a little bit.
I forgot,
paranoid.
okay. I'm sorry.
He's a little bit. Yeah.
Evelyn's going to tell Vint to sit in front of the doors, and then she's going to give control of Vint to Rhett and attempt to lay down and sleep for a bit.
Okay, so you guys take another long rest.
Yeah.
Or,
This-
you know,
I
you
mean,
kind of
yeah, pretty
spend the
much.
day and then have another long rest.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
there anything you'd like to do since you sort of have a day to do things?
I would.
Evelyn's just going to sleep
yeah.
through the day.
I will Yeah, unattune one item and we'll try to attune to the chain. Because I
Yeah.
want to try it out. Gonna unattune from the gloves of missile snaring. Which is a hard decision. Considering where he got those from. And yeah, but he will carefully put them to his backpack. To a safe place. Probably near the cocoon. Because it has to be safe too.
I suppose I will continue my writing. You were busy yesterday, but I think I got a pretty good poem done for you.
Sounds great.
About Laurent, you mean? Because I lost the chess match. God, that feels so long ago.
Yeah, it does. Look, and in the
I know.
meantime I'm gonna try a little bit more and you can nudge me in the right direction with these drawings of your mother. Let's see how close we can get.
Right. Do you want to hear the poem? I can revise it if it's not quite right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I named it the Auburn Prize. Hopefully that's okay. He like tries to wake himself up, like not wake himself up, but like clear his throat and be like, in pleasant peace she'd once reside, faithful darkness by her side, playing painting from dawn to dusk, teasing tones with a kindly brusque. But only when in even fall, copper hair, much russet sky, her comic dance would enthrall. With pomp and farce none could deny, and so we seek our Auburn prize, sorting slowly truth and lies, reaching near and far, darkened cave or loud bazaar. Who now knows where her path resides, save some snake who runs and hides? What do you think?
That sounds awesome. Love it.
Did I capture her essence? You always talk about how she's like graceful, but then funny and rude and like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's not that easy to describe. But you got it, mostly.
Yeah.
See, even though you haven't met her, it's like when I draw your mother. Like, with a little bit of information, we can get close.
Yeah, true enough. The nose is wrong though. You gotta fix the nose.
Oh, that's
It's
fine.
not
Is it
exactly
a
like-
little bit more pointy, or?
Yeah, it's kind of more like pointy and refined than mine is.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Hold still.
We go through it.
Wow.
I mean, we have to somehow get the time,
Yeah.
get some time.
You
Over
spend
with.
the day sort of, drawing away and talking. And eventually you two start to feel tired. And begin to rest. Is anyone keeping watch, or are you leaving it to Wind?
Still tired, still leaving it to wind.
I think still leaving it to vent. Although,
Okay.
can we request? Our supplies are like really low at this point, so can we request that Huxley help us out, or is Huxley still really tired?
Huxley in general seems generally exhausted in this heat, but if you request food and drink, Huxley will provide.
I think that we should.
Yeah. Soleil has no problem with that.
Okay, would both of you please give me a con save, please.
It would be nice and disadvantaging for me. Okay, well that was a 16 before my other.
Oh, right. What?
So.
If
What is the
Evelyn
first
is
level of
right, she's
exhaustion? What
probably
does
gonna
that do?
need
It's just
ability.
ability check.
ability checks. Evelyn's gonna need
okay.
water as well, so he'll reluctantly have to drink.
It's a 25 for me then.
Crap.
It's a 12 for me.
Evelyn, would you give me one as well, please?
Yeah, that's gonna be a 10.
Okay. As all of you partake of the water, do you, press the digitate?
Try and make it.
What
Yeah.
do you do? Make it a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
will.
more palatable?
Prestidigitate for people as I mean we have all day so we can like
Yeah. You
take
drink the
turns
water,
of-
and Red, your fingers are starting to feel a little bit tingly. But otherwise, nothing else happens. And you all get your full long rest, losing another level of exhaustion.
That count as one long rest or 2 long rests? No, I don't think I can take 2 within a 24-hour period.
No, you would get your long rest, but you wouldn't get two.
Okay.
Feeling so
Oh, how
much
does
better
that make
now.
you? Are you feeling better?
Oh
Good.
yeah, definitely.
I feel like I could still use a vacation, but if I take it slow, I think I'll be okay. Liz still looks pretty tired. How about you, Evelyn?
I've been feeling better. Don't feel like I've got my wits quite right.
I mean, have enough dust for like 2 more greater restorations, but
We might still need those further on.
yeah, we haven't been attacked yet, so if I go downstairs and my vague acquaintances that might be my enemies follow me, I think we might be okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
That like checks with Soleil to make sure that title is okay.
What are you checking with him?
He's
I'm like,
not
I
calling
called
you a
you
friend.
a vague acquaintance who
Oh.
might be an enemy at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah, Soleil looks pleased with that.
Okay. I think then we'll take a more careful look at everything. First, to look to see if there's any writing on any of these containers.
You see runes stamped into the sides of the sarcophagi, but they seem magical in nature. None of them seem to have any meaning as a language. But you can tell that they are, at least in form, abyssal in nature. Same as the writing that was at the top.
Right. Well, no names. I guess that's fine. I don't know what I expected. This one's missing. I feel like we saw one of these back in the Drought City, though, so I guess that's not surprising.
Possible they obtained it from here.
I think this place is much older than that city was. So, yeah, it makes sense, I guess, yeah. Only way to go is down. Huxley, you want to do that detect traps thing?
Yeah, sure. Huxley steps forward and casts Find Traps. There isn't any.
Hey.
The staircase further into the depth winds in a circle several times, farther down than just a level. The carved stone of the walls eventually vanishes halfway until you find yourself surrounded by solid volcanic rock that stretches along the staircase until it reaches the bottom. From here, a tunnel reaches into the dark, as far as you can see.
Oh, no. Oh, hmm. Do we feel like walking down a tunnel for a while?
Nothing
Okay.
else going on?
Why is it? I'm not in the best state of mind. Is there a reason that there would be a tunnel here?
There could be a back entrance.
Not just sound for anything else.
There.
I mean, maybe there's water down here.
Would it be?
Yes, we'll just walk down the tunnel.
If you wanted, you could also give me a history check.
What? Okay. 16.
You especially would remember the writing on the tablet at the top of the structure. There was mention of a temple underneath.
Is that? I guess, I mean, we would have definitely looked at the writing while we were up there some more. Can you remind me what it said exactly?
A portal destroyed, a temple buried. May none forget what came upon Beleth and their misguided god of naught.
Worth checking? I don't know.
It might get you more answers as to what you're looking for.
That would be great. I suppose we'll walk for a while and see if we find this temple then.
The tunnel stretches for a long while as you walk down it. Several miles until it comes to an end. The long tunnel abruptly widens to make space for a large metal gateway. The set of metallic doors in this frame are intricately ornate, covered in carvings of landscapes and creatures. You see winged humanoids with horns and without, strange beasts you have seen, and some you cannot imagine would actually be real. Above it all, however, at the top, at center, divided by the gap between the doors, lies the imagery of a titanic horned creature of humanoid proportions. Only its torso is visible as it reaches over the stars, the moon and the sun, and the rest of the scenery displayed on the doors.
I don't particularly want to face another creature of some type, but hopefully that's just a artistic rendering and not actually a
Great.
portrayal of what is in here.
How long have we been traveling? Like, how long has it been roughly since we woke up?
Less than an hour.
Okay, so not that far down this travel. Or down this tunnel.
When I say several miles, it's between 2 and 3.
Okay.
It wasn't a terribly long walk. You didn't spend hours walking down this tunnel.
Does this torso thing remind me of anything?
It's a carving, so it's relatively ambiguous. But it could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys see Soleil stopping in front of the thing and just going deep in thoughts. Trying to figure out if this reminds him of the titanic creature floating in the slip. The god that has been slain millennia ago. Does it also have horns or something? Is it possible to see that in the art?
It
The
does
carving.
have horns.
Okay. Gonna keep that in the back of my head. And slowly continue walking, not to lose track of the others. Even though it's just just one tunnel, so I can't really lose track, but...
It's like a door in front of us, right?
Is the gate open? Yeah.
Okay.
Do you push against it?
Door?
Try
Do
to
I
open it?
detect any magic on the door?
Sorry, after checking for traps on someone.
Roll me an investigation check for the traps. And with detect magic up, you don't sense any magic from the door. You take a quick glance around. It'd be difficult to trap a door this large without any obvious mechanism. So, after a quick look around, you're relatively certain there's no trap.
I guess I pushed them.
The door, or the doors, open easily, swinging freely on hinges that seem strangely uneroded. And beyond the gateway lies a hall.
Oh boy, that is beautiful. The map.
You see sprawling walls of polished stone, dark grey marble walkways and floors, gold and metal trim and machinery. Magma illuminates the chamber, flowing freely throughout unseen canals, leading in and out of the hall. On a central platform lies a shining sphere of silver, surrounded by elaborate machinery and parts. Along the back half of the hall, a long railed and ringed platform turns into a perfectly round tunnel, leading further into the distance. But unlike many of the other tunnels you have encountered, at the end of this one you see shimmering yellow light through the darkness.
But we're down at this time.
You'd be up here.
Oh, okay.
I imagine it is uncomfortably warm in here.
It is immensely warm in here.
With detect magic up, is there any magic that's pinging off within 30 feet?
Give me a perception roll.
Mm-hmm. 8.
As you look around, it's difficult to almost see auras with this intense glow of the magma around. At some points you feel like you see something, a sort of thin haze maybe, something residual, but nothing stands out.
Okay.
Well, this is an unusual temple. It feels more like Port of the Forge. Remember how I was thinking that this place was a forge in some
Right.
memory that isn't. I don't quite know how I remember that.
Yes. Cautiously move around. Try and make a way around towards here to get an eye on what's all this stuff. Is it like hot to even walk on?
There is this intense heat billowing around you, but where you're standing right now, it's still bearable.
And tentatively place a foot out here to see if it's still bearable.
The iron, as you step onto it, is surprisingly cool. You almost expected this sort of hiss as you see these thin streams of magma directly underneath. But somehow the heat seems relatively contained.
Alright, then she will move forward to try make sense of what she's seeing here.
The silvery sphere in the middle looks ornate. Apart from the cracks, it looks to have once been entirely solid. There is no sign of welds, bolts, or any other joinery in the metal. It looks as though it's been cast in its entirety. Of course, now deep cracks run through the sphere, and where these breaches have rent the sphere open, molten and cooled clumps of silver form long and still falls. You roll me an investigation roll.
Does it look like the silver that is the same as like the blood that we got from the creature?
It's certainly similar. It is silver in color. Though you're definitely sure that
Well,
the blood you have is liquid, and whatever this is seems fully solidified.
sadly, just a 12 for my investigation.
You do notice as you wander around the platform, atop one of the plates of metal that lay on the ground surrounding the sphere, there is a curious stretch of paper. It's grey, almost black, as if someone had pressed ashes into a solid, flat shape. It is written or filled with abyssal script, though it doesn't appear handwritten. It appears almost as if someone had stamped it into the paper.
I'll cast comprehend language on myself. I could ask Rhett to read it, but she's not currently going to invite Rhett, and she's not going to stop him, but she's not inviting Rhett to read it because she's just, like, is everything here cursed to kill Rhett is her thought process. But, oh
After you're
gosh.
reading it for a while, I'm gonna come up and like
Yeah, it's going to take her a
look over your
minute.
shoulder. Oh, that's a helpful warning at this point. Great. Nice.
It looks like the writings of an idiot.
What does it say? Soleil says from up above still because he is afraid to
Right.
take a step with his bare feet on this heated metal.
Someone from the line of Belef is warning as to not proceed ahead, as where we came from, there is one who seeks to destroy any who are of the line of Beleth, or any that plan to undo the punishment. Would have been helpful to have that on the other side
Yeah.
of the
Does
door.
that mean
but
there's a way down here that like makes this the
likely
exit?
to- possibly. It's got mentions of a portal of some sort that was closed, and then it talks about how he's set to his fate based upon the ramblings of someone saying that a god is intending on bringing about the end of everything. Lightshire, and that no wait, let's see.
Maybe it's Liach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what name that is.
But because they served this god, they decided no, they can't do that anymore because it will bring the end of everything, and thus they set themselves to their punishment to be killed.
That's a bit simplistic. I think it's more like it was a guardian trying to prevent the god of nothing from coming back. Or maybe it was like a soldier that fought the god of nothing and died?
It talks about how there is a god, an old being, that lies fractured in pieces. Its body or the vessel containing it lies broken. Its soul has long corroded in the maelstrom beyond. It talks about, due to the shame of their actions of worshipping this being and attempting to bring it about when they thought it was supposed to be for good, and it wasn't, then their entire lineage was cursed to be punished.
The maelstrom beyond.
Well, and it also says that this one is not the only, like, dead one of its kind. There were more. There was one in the Shadowfell, one in the Circles Crusades. I assume it means, like, the Circles
I
of
think
Hell's
it's talking
Crusades.
about the temple is not the only one of its
Right,
kind.
yeah. Well, the temple, in that the temple is more of a grave. Like, there are more graves of this kind, presumably, I think, right? There must have been some war between these godlike beings and this god of nothing.
You remember the creature I described that I saw in the slip?
Yeah, that could be another
Could
interesting
be
place.
connected.
Could be.
This one was called Leisure. The echoes of her soul cry a warning of a god of nothing.
That kind of makes sense with, like, some of the... Didn't say... I feel like we've heard that before. Not quite like a god of nothing, but like nothing. Or like... I serve nothing, or it was something like that. Doesn't that, like, kind of ring a bell?
What? Soleil looks like he was
You want to
deep
roll
in
a
thought.
history check on that.
Yeah.
Who?
I mean, I think that's about all that Rhett remembers from what was said then, but... Yeah, 2 nat 4, yeah. 2 4s, okay. He's like, yeah, there was somebody that said something about serving nothing. And it was one of those bad dudes, but I don't know if he just meant he serves himself, or... Wow, no.
I'll try and remember. Everything's at disadvantage right now. My brain is broken.
Yeah, Sam.
Brainborg, no good.
Oh,
I mean, I can roll normally and hope.
19.
Oh, that's enough, probably.
You remember Yakos saying something of the sort, but going further back, you remember nothing being mentioned in relation to a god. It was again at the beginning when the first attack on Polythreme happened. The Hierophant mentioning a god of naught. A different translation, but in essence the same.
Happened during the attack on the Polythreme. It mentioned the god of Not. Same god that was mentioned upstairs.
Okay.
Essentially means the same. God of nothing.
There are too many incidental things that fit together here to be a coincidence, I guess.
Well, what really gets me is this last line. For that purpose, the kinds were kept apart. Like, what kinds? Like, tieflings and people? Or like... What is the kinds? You know what I mean? Does this guy mean like the gods that were dead?
Oh, it's the guardians are dead.
It doesn't make any sense. If the guardians oppose this god of not, why would it be good that they were dead?
Does the line of Beleth mean anything to me, Beggar? Anything that I've read about before, or the mention of Baphomet, Rahagog, Ilgath, Gorth?
How much would your research have gone into other planes?
Probably not more than an initial overview, which is probably deeper than most people's overview, but still not horribly deep.
Give me another history check.
The 6.
In your studies, there was probably a short stint where, during a certain phase, you may have considered summoning a demon or similar being. The names sound vaguely like those of such creatures, but you remember no details.
I mean, it sounds like we're talking about demons here.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. Is
Which
that like
leads back towards things like the Infernal Wars and things along those lines. Haven't done tons of reading on those topics.
You know any songs or stories about that, Red? It might give us a hint.
I'll roll? A history, I assume? 14?
There isn't really much about the other planes themselves in the stories and the songs that you know, but there are songs and stories about the material realm's relationships with some of these realms. For example, there is songs and stories about the Infernal Wars, when demons and devils came pouring out of the gates to the infernal hells. There's a story of an accursed knight, a demon that eventually deserted this crusade, this war, and instead helped the material plane to close the gate and strike a peace.
I personally kind of feel like it's talking about how demons and okay, not necessarily just demons, but like how the planes were kept apart and the different kinds of beings from the different planes were kept apart. That's kind of my reading on what that means. But at a pretty big guess. That being said, clearly their line did not end at that point if I'm standing here.
Yeah.
So,
Soleil is just completely... He has no idea. He's just guessing now. And like, maybe the Dominion tries to somehow resurrect this liature to end everything because they don't like Polythreme.
I think they don't like everything, but yes, Polythreme would be included.
Yeah, because wasn't there a story, or didn't we hear anything? Didn't we listen in to them saying something about like how they were traitors and treated them wrongly or something in the past? I don't remember.
Humans mistreated them, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, not.
But they also had
inhabitants.
Yeah, but they also had particularly something with Polythreme, as far as I remember. But yeah, I guess
so, yeah.
also humans. Maybe because Polythreme back then was just like the leading force to whatever happened to them. But yeah,
Could be. I wonder if the Order is like the Guardians, but corrupted. Corrupted might not be right. If they are somehow related to these Guardians.
But it's definitely interesting that we just happened to come across something so important that actually, like in this random place that we that we weren't even supposed to be, that actually is a very, very, or might be very important information.
I mean, it felt like a good place to be when I walked up or by it.
Right
In
for
hindsight,
you.
yeah, nah. Again, with the don't listen to me about that ever again.
Do you think
But it's
Vidar
not
had any
completely random?
clue about this? And maybe was like, maybe they happened to come across this?
This is off of our path. So unlikely. Can I try and make sense of what this could have been? Whether a statue or did it serve some purpose? Was it more of like a relic, or based upon like the random things about, did it look like it had some purpose it was supposed to serve?
Roll me an investigation check.
We are in top form down here, which is amazing. That would be a amazing 11.
Well, the sphere, as I'd mentioned before, has no, at least purposeful openings. It seems as though it was intended to remain closed. Perhaps indefinitely. But clearly it broke, and whatever it contained, this silver, leaked out and hardened.
Can I attempt to like pull out some chisels and stuff and see if I can't chip off a piece of the silver?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand.
Does it look like it might reasonably be a map, like a globe type thing?
There are images of stars and such on the sphere, but they do not seem to you to be in any constellation or order that would make sense as a map.
It was a 19.
Yeah, you very easily manage to chip off a couple of pieces of the silver and put it in a vial.
Does it look like normal silver and behave like normal silver from from at least observation? Or do I pick up anything magical off of it?
There is this slight residual magic, but it's hard to tell.
Yes, I can try and cast Identify on it.
If you cast Identify on it, it feels exactly the same as the silver blood of Mediocre.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Right. Which is the silver that caused the massive explosion. The death bubble. Oh no. Oh, that's different. That one's right. This is the one from the Death Knight, dude.
Right.
Gotcha.
The one you fought
The
at
Titan.
It might have cracked when those knights appeared.
Somehow makes sense.
Or its cracking allowed them to be here. Possibly. It's a stretch. But it's the same material as their blood.
I feel like this might make more sense if we look around a little further and look at this resting place of this guardian. It sounds like it's nearby, unless I'm reading that really wrong.
It sounds like this is essentially supposed to be the tomb, but it also mentions a what did it say? It mentions a portal that lies.
The portal was destroyed.
So it could be that the portal led to wherever the remains were.
Could be. Yep. I mean, maybe this was just a vessel that held. I don't know. It's speculation. Let's just give it a look around and
Right.
see if it makes more sense after that. And what are you? Is that an egg?
Yeah, you see
Can-
what you see. It is vaguely egg-shaped, a sort of ornate decoration atop of this almost half-dome cogwheel.
Can I follow
Inside
them
of
without
this-
burning my feet?
Yes,
Okay.
yes you can. Inside this half dome, you see a swirling liquid. It looks like water.
And it's like a glass dome. It appears to be something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted to attempt to rotate this gear, but I'm not going to.
I'm more
Unless you
tempted
tell me
to
to.
attempt to see if the water is clean inside.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
Um,
Is it flat that I could like walk on
It's-
this, or is
it's
it
a
like
dome.
domed higher?
This
It comes
central
up.
part, the central round part, is a dome of brass and glass panels in between.
Anything go off with detect magic?
Yes. With detect magic, you sense magic from the mechanism at the top, and you also notice a shimmer from the gears and the cogs further down, submerged in the liquid.
I will fly up towards the top and see if I can't cast Identify on the magic to at least... Or I guess what school of magic do I detect on the top? Roughly?
Totally not looking up schools of magic again.
I'm so sorry.
No,
If-
it's
if
fine.
it-
Let's say transmutation.
Yeah, I'll fly up to the top and try and identify it. Don't know if that'll work, but I will try with my limited resources that I know work right now.
Let me quickly check
Mhm.
something.
No problem.
Okay. As you cast Identify, you would get the impression, and this is a relatively simple enchantment. It is meant to close a circuit.
Wait, so we could attempt to try and open this and just be worried that if we maybe had a chance of getting the water, it could drain away if we do.
Open like the
What's
hatch.
wrong with my water?
It's disgusting.
I mean,
No,
It's always
I
good to have a
actually
backup.
feel horrible every time I have to drink it.
it makes my fingers tingly. Okay, I think it would be worth opening. I'm concerned in some ways that it might also like this mechanism might like raise or lower the lava maybe.
So possible.
So can we like check that next room first and again come back?
Sure.
Maybe it would just like I don't know.
Right, this could just be an exit of sort, in which case we wouldn't really. We'd have to go back and get Vint. Which could Vint have come down the passageways that we went down?
Seeing as the staircase is the same size as the others, it would have taken a long while to smash down there, and then the tunnel could have been difficult for him to fit in.
I really don't think that this is like
An
a
exit?
back entrance. It
Sure.
may have been when there was a portal, but there's not one now.
All right. Going down slowly.
Wandering through the circular tunnel evokes a strange feeling about your surroundings. The walls are perfectly smooth, like someone had polished them until recently. Apart from the rails and the occasional ring of machinery embedded in the walls, the tunnel has no incline or decline. It feels as though you're walking along a perfectly horizontal path. As you reach the exit, the heat before you is immense. Before you stretches a titanic cavern, reaching hundreds of miles across a landscape of fire and light. Rivers and falls of bubbling molten rock stream through the largest magma chamber you have ever seen. Or the largest you could have ever envisioned. Even among this almost hellish scenery, there is something that fully enraptures your gaze. A geyser of magma seems to rear from one of the enormous lakes of light, only to stream down the form of a colossal creature. You see red giants walk among the lake, clad in crude metal arms and armor. This is the landscape you see before you. You are currently the very edge down here. And these are the
Oh gosh.
creatures that you see.
My
That's
instinct is to go with like a fire giant. Would that be accurate to anything Evelyn would
well,
know?
both you and Red may give me a history check.
This reminds me more like a frickin' Elden Ring level.
Evan.
Nice.
Red, you would have heard of them in tales and stories. They even found mention in the songs of the High Peak King. Despite them appearing as enemies of the central antagonist, the ancient cloud giant, they're not gathered in the force of heroes that would eventually march on the mountain and defeat the cloud giant. In fact, in most literature you can think of, they are painted in an unfavorable light, as evil antagonists or challenges to overcome, much like the dragons of those stories. Evelyn, you would have read about these giants in history books. You are unaware of the details, but you remember that for a short while after the planes had reconnected, giants from all sorts of primal elemental planes had traveled to the material plane. Some largely remained travelers, visitors that would only temporarily pass through the material plane. Other giants, such as the stone and hill giants, happily made their homes among the unsettled mountains and hills. Over the centuries, there had been a few smaller invasions of giants that would wage war on the material plane. But often these would be shattered by the combined efforts of the sentient races, and survivors of these invasions would end up remaining in this plane. You don't know a lot about the different kinds of giant, but as far as you remember, these lava giants, magma giants, seem to be mostly primal in nature.
Okay.
The sight of these giants beggars belief. For a long moment you stand there, observing as they march, almost as if they were on the lookout for something. You realize after a couple of moments that they are also not the only life here. A small swarm of flying lizards flit across the upper edge of your field of vision. So far up, they must easily be half the size of the rocks you'd seen in Antagarg. The giants notice them as well. As the small swarm passes far overhead, you see one lift their spear over their shoulder and launch the gargantuan projectile with the ease of an arrow drawn and shot. Impaled by the brutal weaponry, the dragon-like creature crashes into the ground near the walls of the cavern. Several seconds later, you hear the noise of the faraway impact. The triumphant giant bellows an echoing roar that reverberates throughout the cave before wading through the magma towards their prize. The other giants look on for a moment and then resume the search for their own prey. As you're looking across the landscape, everyone who would like may give me a perception roll.
Three. I'm focused.
Giant down, giant down.
Oh no.
For me, it's 25.
Amazing.
Evelyn, you had keen mind, correct?
I do.
While you're distracted, not really looking at this scenery in front of you, you do notice that both the tunnel you had gone through to get into this metallic chamber, as well as the tunnel leading out of it, are both in a northeastern direction, sorry. They do lie directly on your path. Behind you, as you look up, you would see the walls of the magma chamber. For your route, this might actually have been a shortcut. Soleil!
Mm-hmm.
The entire landscape in front of you is an interplay of shadows and light. But even among that blackened terrain, you see a singular billowing plume of smoke drifting up from one of the many rock islands. Very faintly in the dim light that reaches over the edges of the dark rock, you see the glint of metal wall. And further, far in the distance, you spot a similar phenomenon. It's at the very other edge of the cave. You see vapors pouring forth from a long gash in the side of the cavern, forming white clouds that hang just underneath the ceiling, slowly dispersing. And you know that vapor, white clouds, usually mean one thing: water, boiling as it may be.
Ablin, over there, you see the smoke?
No.
Seems like something is boiling over there. Also, way further over there too. I can see it in the distance.
Technically, does this look like a passable terrain? Like, we're talking about rivers of magma.
Well,
Um,
you can easily pass across the solid surfaces.
mm-hmm.
But the magma itself, of course, unless you have magical assistance, seems like a long shot.
Theoretically, like, flying, how long would it take to pass over one of these? Like, at our normal speed, if we were flying.
Well,
Oh.
each one of these hexes is 30 feet long.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
In terms of movement, as these giants are moving relatively slow and lumbering, you'd be taking 3 turns in between their movement.
Okay. Well, this was unexpected.
It's technically, I think, a shortcut. If we could continue this way.
Huh.
What makes you think that?
The direction that we've turned and headed. We're going the way we want to go. But,
Those things seem pretty mean.
it's certainly, hazardous.
They just one-shot a
And-
dragon thing.
Oh.
Getting Vince down here would be difficult.
We do need a giant gem to put in our belt. I mean,
How do these compare to Wind, size-wise, the giants?
Vince, like... That
Wind's
knees, maybe.
width is about a little bit more than one of these squares. There are almost 3 of these squares.
Okay, so they are much larger than Wind. Okay.
They are colossal.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might hit, like, their knee height. That's
okay. Okay. Cool, cool. Now I want to ride them even more.
it.
you will definitely be burnt alive. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would be a glorious end for a glorious man.
You can hold on to their piercings while climbing up.
The nipple piercings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Helpful.
Worth it.
Oh gosh. Ugh.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not doing this today, whatever the case. That's still gonna be a hard no. So,
Can I make sense of anything we're seeing further Why did one of them go back to the chamber beggar?
I'm putting them back on the map. They were
They snuck
underneath,
behind us.
so
They're
I
so
took them
sneaky.
with them. I need more space.
And he whispers into our ear, "Oh my wa."
Teleports
Guess I
behind you.
can- Since there's no combat happening right now, at least on these maps.
And we're technically on this map, right?
Yes, you're currently down there at the shore.
Does the thing in the magma look like one of these structures that has just fallen off into the magma?
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Okay. Looks like the one that was
this
right here.
looks one of these.
Mhm.
Let's
And is
call
this
them
like a
prey.
tunnel?
This
Is-
entire
it's like a-
path is tunnel that leads out to you. What do you mean here?
Yeah, there, yeah.
No, that is where the rail ends. And this area is completely flat.
There is something in the lava lake. Is that something we can see? Like that's former
think it's,
pathway or something?
Pathway
There
continuing
is
down into the
something
lava.
of the structure that does continue
Okay.
into the lava, but even though you would see it, also not really much you can do with it.
If I use detect magic, do I detect anything from these things?
Roll me an Arcana check.
And then you take a nap.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a 12.
They seem inert, inactive. They don't seem to hold any magical power themselves. The residue that sort of remains, it's almost like they would be used to channel a spell like focus.
Is it a horrible leap in logic to assume that this could have been where the portal was and why it's broken? With these things?
It doesn't feel like planar magic to you.
Okay.
If I turn around, do I see like another egg is sitting up there?
Certainly.
What's with these eggs? And there's one here below me? What is going on?
They look kinda tasty. Now I'm hungry.
You wanna check out that one up there? I feel like you said it was some kind of control that you could close the circuit on or off?
It was like a circuit sort of a thing. I'll cast Identify on this one again.
In the
It was
meantime,
kind of the same thing.
in the meantime, Soleil asks Hugs, "When was the last time you had an egg? I would kill for an egg right now."
Sometime last time I was down here.
Oh, there are actual eggs down here.
Yeah, well, I don't know about here. It's so hot.
Yeah,
You see
it's-
Huxley again struggling with the heat.
Are you alright, Hugs? You don't seem to be doing so well in this
Not
heat.
really. You should get out of here soon.
Is there a specific reason for that?
The first time I came through here, I avoided this area. I don't like the heat.
Yeah, is there a specific reason for that? Why you don't like the heat?
I don't know. Can we just
It's
get out
it's
of
because it's a cursed blight creature, and the blight doesn't like the heat. It's fine.
I guess you don't say that out loud.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Huxley strangely does not object in any way.
But it's like a friendly blight. We talked about this.
But
That's
Huxley
fine.
does seem extremely bothered by the heat.
Oh yeah, sure. How could have I
As you
forgotten the
identify
friendly blight?
this area of the ground, this icon of the egg, nothing comes back. There is no magic in this object.
I think this one's just a symbol.
Yeah. I was gonna say check that one up there.
Go fly up here and do the same on this one.
Ooh, what's that? That's just some
Before
bird
you
thing.
lies what looks like part of some sort of clockwork machinery, but it's broken and doesn't connect to anything, so... From the egg above the door, you get the same return. There may have once been magic flowing through it, but the magic itself does not seem to be part of the egg in any way.
I don't think there's anything necessarily that I can make sense of. Probably mostly iconography of some sort.
Oh, nothing really helpful then.
Oh, and well, we definitely could attempt to cross the magma field to move forward. I'm concerned about both Vint and Hux.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think.
If it's a shortcut too, I was really kind of looking forward to resupplying at the cleanser's
If it's
location.
shorter, then we should probably take it.
Right, flying over the magma, you think you can hold up to that?
Just keep in mind, we'd have to like
The
do.
rest of the place, I probably the same.
Path that we were planning on taking?
I don't know.
Okay, just keep in
Avoided
mind,
this place.
I can do the flying thing like one time a day. So if I do it on Vint, you would need to go like immediately to the other side. And I know, we have the broom and you can change Huxley and all that's good. But like, we wouldn't necessarily be able to easily explore it with Vint. He just had to take as fast a route as he could across, I think.
Right.
Which is probably for the best, given the giants, but
Also, not a bad point.
Yeah, Soleil said something about
Well,
steam and some,
yeah.
like,
Some structure.
structure thing.
Or should we head back for now?
Yeah, let's at least try to get the water. I'm still not feeling 100% if we're gonna happen to get blasted by a magma giant and screeching bats in the background.
Would we want to save if we have to go if we're planning on taking this route?
Yeah.
Should we head all the way back first or try and get the water first? As we're gonna have to go back and get Vint.
Vint might actually be helpful in like popping the lid off that water thing.
We'll go back and get Vint first.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright. We'll begin to make our way all the way back.
Okay, but before we do that, let's take a 5 to 10 minute break.
Okay.
Because I need
Okay.
to go be.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. It takes you probably about an hour and a half to travel all the way back through the tunnels. And you'd arrive where you left Vint.
Did we want to head out today or tomorrow?
Probably tomorrow, but I would welcome some fresh water today,
Right.
which we do have some water left.
We could use some of our last reserves.
I can make water.
We could use some of our last reserves.
I will drink Hux's water. It's fine.
I mean, food is also a thing. You know.
I can eat Hux's food.
We only have one ration left.
I can make food.
Yep, we know. So do you want to go try to crack that thing open today and see if we can get the water out at least? And then, was the, like, tunnel coming into this magma chamber about the same temperature as everywhere else in this place, or...
Because the room we're in with Vint is the only cooler
It's
room.
the coolish. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. You know, we can stay here. It's cool. And, like, if he goes down, then he won't be able to come back up easily.
Great.
I guess we just stay here the rest of the day then.
Okay. What do you do for food and water?
Let's drink fresh water and have Huxley's food.
All right.
For me at least. I don't know.
Yeah. The rations get used no matter how many of us are using it, if any of them use it. So. If,
Sort of, yes. You could make it that if only one or two of you use that, you have essentially half of the ration left.
Soleil would definitely eat everything from Hux. He's tried it and it was good.
is it just two of us that would be drinking fresh water then?
Seems like it.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll eat Hux's rations. We're all gonna die from this. What killed the party? Hux.
Okay, so Soleil, would you please give me 2 Constitution saves,
2, okay.
and the rest of you can give me 1 Constitution save.
Up at 19.
I'm going to use my Indomitable to
13.
reroll one of those saves.
Amazing.
So
Even
that
worse.
is
Oh.
it's better. And it's a 15 and a 14 for the 2 saves.
The 10.
Okay. Do you
Man.
press the digitate again?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Then, the food goes down easily enough. So does the water. Especially for those of you drinking the clean water. Soleil, at the end of the day, your fingers are kind of tingly. But not for long. It lasts about a couple minutes and then it sort of subsides.
That's fine.
So we're gonna go across the lava. This shield seems really useful. Do you want me to use it? Like I have a shield, or would someone else like to be more resistant to the fire damage? To more resistant to the heat. Maybe, for example, Huxley is struggling with the heat. Seems like the shield might help.
Is
Yeah, I'll take it.
yeah. Huxley can use a shield, right? Proficient with shields.
Let me check the outdated character sheet.
Good question.
I don't have Huxley's sheet.
Nice.
Right.
What? True.
If she's got
Druid?
levels in Druid, yes. If
Yeah.
shields are
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll give Huxley the
We
shield.
can also make us more stealthy when we cross.
That'd be good.
To be helpful.
But sorry, were you reading that?
That's fine. I just finished.
Should we just have Vint smash his way down again and then crawl through the tunnel?
Yep, might as well.
Right. Vint, break your way and smash down the stairs.
Sorry, is this in the morning after?
I think so.
Cool.
Did we get a long
Yes.
rest, Bigger?
Yes.
Good. I'm only sort of tired.
I'm at 2 levels of exhaustion.
I'm fine.
I'm only at 1. How are you at 2?
Because I had a level of exhaustion. I was at 4 levels of exhaustion.
Oh.
That is a lot of levels of exhaustion.
Oh.
Oh.
Because I had one and then I rolled a 3 and gained 3 levels of exhaustion.
But you gained 2? 2?
Oh no, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh, was it just
Not
2?
3. Just 2.
Okay, then never mind. I'm on 1 level of exhaustion. In my head,
It
I
was
was
essentially a coin flip.
I see. Then I'm on 1 level.
Okay. It takes the wind a couple of minutes. First, of course, smashing to the next level relatively quickly, and then down the longer staircase. It takes a while as you stand either on his back or watching from the top until Wind breaks his way all the way down. As he does, you can also already see at the very edges the spiral staircase is beginning to reform from the rubble. And Vince squeezes into the tunnel.
Follow
Can you
after.
give me a quick dexterity check for Vince?
Sure. Dex is a straight roll. $11.
Okay. It's slow going in the tunnel. It's almost like one of those videos where someone squeezes into a rock passage. It's very difficult to move forward, Vint, without much room to move his arms or his legs. So, going through the initial tunnel takes you about 2 hours this time, before you arrive in the large steel chamber.
Can I ask before we leave? Is that radiation still like hanging out in the sand and stuff?
Did I pick
It's
up
the magical
radiation
aura.
in the sand?
Hanging out in the sand.
It's almost entirely dissipated.
But
If you
not
were
entirely?
to dig deeper into the sand, you would still find pockets where some would remain.
I would relate that. Surface only is safe.
It was sort of. Vin looked great when he was hanging out with that stuff, right? He looked
Vint
like.
didn't have any issue with it, right?
I was sort of wondering. I don't really want to handle that stuff, but if it would be like useful to collect a little of the sand, if we ever needed to patch Vint back up with a little like
It seems to be
silvery mortar
dissipating
stuff, I don't know.
relatively quickly. We could try and gather some of it.
You'd be the one that would know better. You made it.
Based on the rate
Like,
that I've
I know that
watched
sand- I know that sand like makes mortar, so that was all I was thinking.
Right, but Vint is only realistically healed with necrotic damage.
Yeah, silvery radiation says,
At the rate this aura has been dissipating, you would estimate that what is left may have a little effect, not a lot, but likely it will also be gone within 1 or 2 more days.
Here's a technical question for you, Beggar. Chill touch. It does necrotic damage. It also, after that damage hits, can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn. Can I use that to heal Vint? I know he's healed right now. I'm just asking if I can or not for future reference.
Yeah, you would be able to.
Okay. Yeah. Vint will leave, or I will say that I think that it's not worth keeping for that sake of trying to patch up Vint. If there's something else you wanted it for, we could do that, but
I just wondered.
I think it'll be gone before we need to patch Vint up anymore.
Fair enough.
We crawled for 2 hours down the tunnel.
Yeah. Weird metal sphere.
Let's move over to the weird dome with liquid inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get out like some of our empty casks. I assume I've been able to like save the casks as I empty them.
Yes.
Great.
So I can activate it, or we could try and smash it. I'm not sure which will work best.
Uh, uh, you would have a better guess than me.
Same.
If I tap
mean-
at the dome, how like sturdy does this feel?
Just from looking from the sort of distortion of the glass, you'd be able to tell that this is really thick glass.
Tell Vince to try and punch near the top of the glass just once.
Okay, roll me an attack roll, please.
That's 24 to hit.
That definitely hits. And then roll damage and double it.
That would be 68. Mix of bludgeoning and thunder damage, if it
You
matters.
see Vin sort of slam his massive fist down, and you hear this resounding crack as you see much crack run down this portion of the glass dome. It seems that the dome isn't one full set, one dome. Seems like each of these parts of the dome is its own glass panel. And this one is thoroughly cracked already.
Is it leaking anything?
The water is not fully up inside the dome, so no, at the moment, having hit at the top, there is no leak.
I'll have him hit it again at the top.
Okay, roll me another attack roll.
That is only a 19.
That still hits.
Okay.
And then double the damage again.
$90.
Yeah. It's way more force that was even necessary. This time as wind smashes against the glass, it shatters inwards. There is this wash of this liquid that comes out, washing past you, and splashing down into this pool of lava. You hear this as this cloud of vapor emerges into the air. There is the
Nice.
smell of almost slightly a salty smell as the water lies open.
Not sure it's good to use. Can I identify the water or the liquid?
I could purify it.
That might work, but if I identify it, can I figure out what's wrong with it?
Do you have chemist?
I do. I have. It's the
Identifying wouldn't give you sort
Okay,
of
that's fine.
its chemical composition as it is non-magical.
Ah, okay, okay. Alchemist kits or cook's utensils or where am I?
Yeah, your alchemist said.
Okay.
And what is the associated role with that? I'm assuming it's intelligence.
Intelligence.
You can give me investigation.
That would be a 15.
You've, in your study, specifically as an artificer, seen the use of similar liquids. It appears to be saturated with a salt. the use of which would likely be as an ionic liquid. Essentially, the liquid component of a battery.
Would I know if purifying water would be able to remove that?
Most likely.
Right. Yeah, we can try and gather some and then purify it.
Ready. I guess I will ask Vin to assist me in scooping buckets or casks out.
Yeah. Have Vin do that to try and fill some buckets of water.
Let me quickly see how much cubic feet converts to how many pounds of water.
Pretty sure that we didn't want to turn this on because everything's broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to drink battery water.
Oh yeah.
Yum.
Yum.
You guys are just, no, I don't want to drink Huxley's water, but fucking battery water,
So
let's go.
with the half barrel you've left, you would get in total 4 barrels of water.
That Huxley could purify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh. Right. So that's taken care of. Not the worst on the water, at least.
Took a little shaving of the metal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what any of that means still.
Right. I mean, I could try and activate this thing. I just don't think it would work anymore.
No, I don't. Yeah, don't try that. I was more thinking like, should we try to take a drawing of like that globe? Like the little symbols on it, or I don't know.
Like an etching.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. I mean, like it seemed important, but I just have no idea what
I
it
mean,
means right
I
now.
can always, if it needs to be quick, I can make a quick sketch of it.
Yeah. If you want to do that, there's no harm in it, I suppose.
Okay.
At least like try to mark the little symbols in the right places, and seems like that might
Give
be
me
important. I don't know.
a sleight of hand or performance check.
Sleight of hand or performance? Sleight of hand it is. 24.
Hey.
Okay, yeah. Very quickly you take a rough sketch. In general, the carvings on the outside of the sphere aren't especially intricate. So, relatively quickly you manage to make a sketch of it, and only takes you about 5 or so minutes.
Okay, and I will go back to the others.
Right. Let's press on then.
Yeah.
Make our way out to the other side of the funnel.
And I suppose I should cast aid on everybody, but I also don't know how much longer we're gonna go. We're gonna try to.
We can go a little while longer.
Okay.
There is a spot where it is very good.
This is where
Not
we came
far.
out, right?
Yes, basically in this bit right here.
Okay.
Alright, so like I said, if I cast fly on Vint, he's gonna need to fly straight. We think the steam is the way out.
Possibly, yeah. It was the which way bigger over here?
And over there.
Yes. This is where the steam is. It lies a little bit off to the side there.
There's a
This is
building
where
here.
the smoke was coming from, where you
Oh, yeah,
saw
sorry.
a metal wall.
Which could just be like a similar structure that we just left.
The point being, I think Vint could fly to one of those two places.
Probably the water?
That was my thought, and then the four of us, I think, can fly on our own in one way or another to the structure if we would like to.
Alright.
But how do we do this? We saw what happened with things flying over this place.
You saw,
Find
you
the
see Huxley
stealthy?
sort of
Yep.
wave their arms, almost looking like they're about to pass out, and Huxley casts Pass Without Trace.
Alright, well, let's all fly over to there. The steamy
Right.
place, drop Vint off, and then we can sneak away. Back to the, whatchamacallit?
Structure of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all technically riding on Vint, but for the purposes of the map, we probably can just use Vint.
I have a marker here.
Yes, fly on Vint.
Oh yeah, the marker there.
His flying speed is 60, and it lasts 10 minutes.
So you can...
2 per turn, and since you get 3 turns, that would be 6.
Could also dash.
Well, that is with him dashing.
Okay.
Wait, no, one of these is 30.
Is
No, you're right.
60 him dashing?
No.
So if he's dashing, he can move
120.
120.
And then the giants.
Does this go all the way up, or is this like a landmass?
This is a landmass. The giants have moved, and it once again becomes your turn. As you fly, do you try to keep close to the lava and the ground?
Probably... When we're close.
Yeah, so we can use the rocks and rock formations and stuff as cover.
Yeah, probably lower so we can kind of try and stay behind cover when we can. From
And
different
we know
angles.
there might be big blizzards on the ceiling.
Right.
Okay. Where do you move next?
Toward it.
You have 4 spaces to move each turn, and you have 3 turns.
I think I can only get us to here.
Please give me a stealth check for Vint. Under the effect of Pass Without Trace, you would currently get a plus 10.
That would be a 22. 22.
The stealthiest gargantuan construct I've ever seen.
As you fly, you would notice from the Pass Without Trace, you're sort of almost shrouded in this thin veil of shadows. Perception. What did you get?
22.
Okay. yeah, fly across, and so far at least, doesn't seem like any of the giants have noticed you. You can take your turn. Okay. Roll me another stealth check, please.
Uh, 26.
Okay. Take your next turn, please.
Is this some rock formation up higher?
Slightly. Well, slightly, I say it's still going up around 20 to 30 feet. But it is a very slow incline, considering its length.
Okay.
Please give me a stealth check.
Does anybody else want to roll?
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You want us to.
Well,
Okay, well,
I tried, man.
you were right.
I was
you were right.
rolling I rolled 2 nice rolls.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen?
They throw a giant spear at us and strike us into the lava. And we melt.
Okay, what's the second worst thing that could
Oh,
happen?
they saw us.
Yeah,
They saw us.
that's what happens.
They saw us.
You see one of them bellow towards you. And in this half run, still extremely slowly, they move closer.
Blah, you
Go.
fool. Yeah. Put that thing in between us. Yeah.
What?
Give me another stealth check.
What a roll stuff.
Sure.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
25.
Mm.
There you go.
You temporarily leave the side of the giant, and as you sort of peek out the other side, it doesn't look like he still sees you. Regardless, you see him hoist the spear up and throw it against the rock that you vanished behind. Again, he lets out this deafening bellow, and the impact shatters pieces of the rock everywhere into the lava.
Can't you make him invisible before we continue flying, maybe? Oh no, concentration on flying, right?
Yeah, if we wanted to walk.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Uh-oh. I can't handle how intense this music just got.
Okay, he doesn't have his spear. Is this when we want to fight him?
Or we just keep running.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
yeah.
now
let's
that
go.
he doesn't have a
Take your
spear,
turns.
we can just run.
North. Oh, stay over. Don't. Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. If I was just trying to go to the next rock formation.
Rhett's just like pointing at this thing. Concerned about getting
I can't
hit.
get to it. That's as far as I can get.
Yeah, it's fine. He's like, let's not be this place when we get hit with the spear.
But just as you see them hoist their spear, this one over here, as the other one does not currently have his, he's simply running towards you. All of a sudden, the cave lights up. More so than from the glow of molten rock. A harsh white light suddenly engulfs the cavern, and the giants cover their eyes, roaring in pain. Your eyes hurt too, for a moment, as the pain is still subsiding. Your eyes already adjust to the new light, and you look around. The source of the flash and the persistent light is a projectile arcing through the cave, high up. It fizzles and burns as it flies through the air, slowly diminishing in strength. Behind it, a long trail of smoke begins to dwindle in the distortion of the air from the heat. But it would appear obvious to you that the light, the projectile, originated from the encampment of metal you saw. You saw the wall and the smokestacks.
Do we go there instead?
So, did it shoot at one
From
of
the way the
giants?
giants are holding their eyes, you would estimate you have probably about a turn before they see again.
Because that seemed like it was helping us. So do we just keep going, or do we move to the encampment instead?
Maybe we should keep
Get-
going and
get-
hide
get-
first.
Yeah, get Bint out of here. We can fly over there next.
Yeah.
Okay. Four.
Give me a stealth check.
Someone else wanna roll? Still?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Fine.
Yeah,
You took him out! Yeah, 22.
As the
That was a
light
disadvantage, right?
finally diminishes, you see both of the giants now standing high up on this platform, looking around, but not seeing you. For the moment. Frustrated, you hear the giant that threw his spear roar again as he pulls his spear from the rock. And I'm assuming you use the rest of your movement to
To check out what the steam
Get
and
the
stuff is
fuck
going
out
on
of
here.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you near the gash in the side of the cave wall, you see, to your surprise, through the vapor, light. You see the opening to a cave full of steam and mushrooms.
We're all gonna get high.
Oh no.
And this is a good place to end today's session.
Mushrooms.